Welcome to the United States of America podcast. I am your host, Niti, and we are broadcasting live from the Food Church here on North Carolina. In the early morning hours of Monday, September 1st, our beloved head of state, James Clinton Belcher, died in his sleep at home. It was a peaceful passing. Jim faced and overcame many health issues over the past 5 years. His death was not expected, but it was not totally unexpected either. James was born October 8th, 1941, and spent the majority of his life in Alaska. He served as a member of the United States Air Force during the Vietnam War era and was a lifetime member of AMVETS and a signature member of the Oil Painters of America. His career in fine arts spanned 50 years, during which he received much acclaimed and several major awards. His life took a dramatic turn in 2001 when, upon the death of his mother, he found himself entrusted with an inherited office of state and an obligation to restore the lawful government of the United States. This enormous effort was the focus of his life for over 20 years. James Clinton is survived by his wife, Anna, a daughter, Brenda, 3 sons, Clinton, James, and Eric, his first wife, Sandra, 3 grandsons, Brandon, Caleb, and Joseph, and 3 great-granddaughters, Abigail, Alexis, and Ashley. Further announcements concerning the new head of state will be made later in the week. No other federation or state offices are impacted by his passing. Jim was a supremely talented artist and a noble, generous heart, a man who never wanted anything to do with government or politics. He nonetheless answered the call for an inherited duty and did his best with it. Jim cared deeply about the welfare and security of living people in an increasingly crooked and corporate-controlled world. His wry sense of humor and quiet kindness will be sorely missed throughout the Federation. He was and is greatly loved. I am joined today with leaders from all over the earth. I'd like to welcome all the nations from everywhere. We would like to be able to, first of all, offer our condolences to Anna, our fiduciary, and we want Anna to know that we're lifting her, and we like to be able to carry her, as she grieves. James was the love of her life. They were together for 30 years, and I know that that she's still in probably a great deal of shock because no matter how much, time you spend, helping and caring for your loved ones, you're never really quite ready. So we just want Anna to know that we are lifting her. And with that, I yield to you, Tony.
Hey, Niti, thank you very much. And I commend you for getting this together, and welcome everybody, and for everyone who's present here. I said it just in the prelude before we started that I feel Jim's magic is already at work here, even though he's physically not with us and not with Anna. His magic is already working and bringing us together. Some of us have never actually connected until now, so even it proves that his magic is working. So Niti contacted me earlier on, and I thought it was beautiful what she thought that would be good was to help raise the vibration. It's hard to feel raising the vibration at such a sad time, but I just want us to take a moment. We can do this through our hearts. We can take a moment to tune into the beautiful love, that unconditional love that Anna and Jim shared together, the love he had for everyone else as she does for everybody. So by doing that, we can also help Anna in particular to deal with the pain and the loss, because it's unconditional love. That's the most purest energy, the most powerful energy source in the world, and that's what they epitomized. In a moment, I just want to read out a couple of things Anna said 2 weeks ago in relation to Jim, and it was just incredible. I wasn't aware of it, and I know she wouldn't mind me sharing this. So, but just for the moment, I just ask, no matter what religion you're in, it's very poignant, and it would be very powerful if we can, in a few moments, close our eyes and just connect with Jim and Anna, just by imagining just our hearts opening up and connecting with him in his true spirit form now, and also with Anna, and that beautiful link that we have, or that we visualize with both of them, will really help Jim in his journey onwards, Anna in her journey towards dealing with this great loss, and she is going to need a lot of support now, and it's just beautiful to feel the love that's here for her and for Jim. So just a moment in silence, if you don't mind, just to tune into both of their energies, the unconditional love that's there, and we say this in the name of Jesus, so it shall be done. Just a moment's silence, please. Thank you, everyone. It was absolutely powerful and beautiful. I just want to read out a couple of things. If you just bear with me, a couple of weeks ago, Anna really started communicating just about the magic that she's had over the 30 years with Jim. I was so bowled away by it, number one, by how incredible Jim was. I wish I got to meet him, and she said the same. She said she wished everybody got to meet him, especially in his prime. But in particular, some of the things that she said, she felt that she was in a magic kingdom, a magic realm over the last 30 years, and people would never really understand it unless they actually experienced it like she has. So one of the things she said Jim had an incredible innate ability to communicate with animals. Now, maybe some of you already know this, but he could directly communicate with ravens, the birds, that is. And on a number of occasions, he would know what the weather forecast or what the impending, if they were driving along, and he'd tell Anna that she had to go a different direction, because he said that it's there's a roadblock or it's a bad road, and she just kind of knew that it was him talking to the ravens again. But he had an innate ability to be able to communicate with animals. She said he was the zig, she was the zag. In some of the other things, like she said it was for those that are into the star signs and all that, he was Libra. Funny enough, I'm myself, but she's a Gemini, and that's a really incredible celestial match. There's a few beautiful pictures that she sent, so I'll ask her for permission to send them, but I'm sure she won't mind. And I think we talked about it earlier on. Yes, there was definitely some truth in kind of darkness trying to get in to attack whether it was Jim's energies and whatever else, to obviously affect Anna and try and take her off path. But it never had, as you know. She went on to say, as you probably know, he had a transformation, amazing transformation recently. And she was really, really infused by it and very hopeful about it. But obviously, it wasn't meant to be. And just in terms of what she had said, so if you just bear with me, I just want to open these. He was a wise and gentle, kindly and polite and considerate soul, a proper salt for my pepper. He's all that I could wish to be, so effortlessly friendly and urbane. He fits every scene and social strata like a glove and never misses a beat. This is quite emotional. Sorry, gains the confidence of the men and admiration of the ladies. If the people of this country ever had the chance to know him in his prime, they would absolutely love him. Everyone loved Jim. Even the nurses and doctors fell under his spell. Yet I am the one with the wild, mercurial side, no doubt. I had a bad temper in my youth that I had to reform and control, but Jim is wise and slow to react. Takes his time, considers everything and everyone. He's passionate but never flies off the handle. Oh, Jim is wonderful. He is all anyone could ask for. He is the image of a philosopher's king. A strong and manly man whose solid good sense and largesse of spirit extends compassion to every living thing. That's why all animals and little children, and even birds in the trees, are drawn to him. As I said earlier on, he used to carry on conversations with ravens here and tell me what reports they gave him about the roads and weather and accidents and gossip. And it was all true. That's the scary thing. He can speak fluid raven. He can call them down from the breeze or trees and get a road and weather report you would not believe. He'd tell me to take the back way home because there was an accident blocking the normal route. No radio, no telephone call. His ravens had been flying out or had been out flying around and gave him the lowdown. I tell you, Tony, it's been the past 30 years in the realm of true magic. I wouldn't know where to start, really. His ability to communicate, his knowledge, his ability to lay hands on a person or animal and relieve pain and anxiety is like no other. When I was asked in the spirit realm what I wanted as a reward for my service to mankind, I didn't hesitate to in a nanosecond. And this is going to upset people, obviously. I asked that Jim be utterly restored. Nothing else for me, just that. And I didn't have to think about it. That's all I wanted in the entire universe. He's a precious child of true God, a man as men were in the dawn of creation. So she goes on and on. It was so empowering. If that doesn't epitomize what Jim was, and although her wish may not have looked like it was granted to bring Jim back in the physical form in his truest health, I think everybody would agree that he's now in his true form. And in my opinion, I've lost a lot of people. And you question life and you question what life's all about. I personally believe Jim has also stepped away to work his magic from in his true form, and my father did the same recently, my mother before him. And you may realize that there's a lot of, let's say, people leaving us that are true lights, and it questions a lot. But I believe that because the light is shining around the world, and darkness is doing everything in its power to stop the light. But now with Jim, there's a very, very special light there that's going to work and help from his truest form. And I just would say that it's incredible what you've done here, Niti. It's actually very emotional because I can feel the love and the compassion that you have for Anna. It comes true on your podcast. It's coming true here, but with everyone here. But I think right now, Anna is going to need some time, and it's going to need as much support than ever. But if ever there's a woman that's going to get back on the horse, it's Anna. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing all the things that you've learned about James. I know everyone here has something that they'd like to share. So we'll just kind of go around. Michelle Ford.
Yeah, thank you, Niti. And thank you, Tony. That was so spot on. Yeah, we don't totally know what happens from that other dimension, right? We don't exactly know, but one of the things that I'm confident about is that it was his time. God has an appointed time for every single one of us. And when it's our time to be of service in a different capacity, then it's our time. And so I have this uh, gratitude in a sense, not only for the work that he's done and his gift of his fine art and the ways that he blessed Anna's life and brought forth those beautiful, amazing children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, but also um, the path that now is possible, that Jim isn't in his physical form in a body that needs repair, that needs um, like it's an end to any suffering, which for me is a big sigh of relief that he's not going to have to endure hospitals anymore, or the disappointment of, oh no, not again, not again, another injury or another illness. And so I pray, and I have a great deal of confidence that he's going to be able to be of much greater service where he is now, and that in many ways it's going to empower this um, awakening that's happening on our assemblies, where people are just, enough is enough, enough of the war, enough of fighting. We've been declaring our being done with evil. And this shift, as Tony was talking about, this shift is real and it's happening. And this great restoration wouldn't even be possible if James didn't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear when his mother shared with him his legacy and his destiny. And so thank God for Jim having been ready for this task. And I have no doubt that there were probably times where he thought, "What? Me? What?" Like, impossible. I'm just a man, like, but he took on this task, and Anna not only was by his side to take on this task, but he wore that and he stood his ground. And he has many articles that he's written too that are incredibly powerful. So I could see why God put Anna and him together. They're both powerful forces of nature, willing to walk through this fire, and they did it together for all these years. And you know, so whoever is going to end up stepping into that role at some point obviously has big shoes to fill. But an energy has been released, a very powerful, powerful, powerful energy has been released from the confines of this physical realm. And I mean, we can look back in history um, and know that there were times when God took people and it ended up being the appointed perfect time and opened up for miracles to happen. So I pray for Anna. I pray for their whole family. We are so grateful as humble servants in this enormous, enormous task. We are grateful that, well, I guess I can't say we, I can only speak for myself. I am grateful um, to walk beside these giants, walk alongside these giants who were the pioneers of this great restoration. And may we, if we can do a fraction of the work that they've done, then so be it. But we definitely are blessed because of him being here. We love you, Anna. We love your whole family, and thank you, thank you, Jim. You will never be forgotten. Thank you, man. Thank you, Niti.
Thank you, Michelle. I didn't know. Look, we obviously, I'm actually still kind of in shock. I spoke to Anna yesterday. she told us all to take a day off. And I have been off for my born day week. And I had a lot that I was able to think about. And so, I called her and I wanted to talk to her about something that I was excited about. And, in her true form, first of all, she didn't have to answer the phone, and she did. She knows how to control, her space. And she heard whatever I had to say. We talked, and she was as supportive and loving as always. And it was around noon her time yesterday. She never mentioned anything. But she seemed a little preoccupied, and I thought, oh, she's doing important things and something big must be going on. And so she was like, well, that's all I can say for right now, Niti. Gotta go. I was like, okay. And she kind of just hung up. She doesn't normally do that, but I was like, oh, it's okay. She's busy. And when I found out today, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm sure was just processing, Look, Anna is a tough cookie. All of us know that. I don't know very many people that are tougher. But the Federation is going to need a lot of help and support right now. I know Anna's pocketbook was stolen this weekend. The evil forces are coming, and I feel that James felt like he was able to do more by protecting Anna in his true form than he would be any other way. And it isn't probably the way that she would have wanted or that anybody else might have wanted, but he knew what he was going to do. Like all good husbands do. he's protecting her, and he's going to be guarding her. I think if there's anything that I think this is a great time to send Anna not only some contributions to help support the Federation, but I bet she would love to hear get a lot of love notes right now. I think that would be really, really nice. Something that she can really put her hands on and touch and feel and hold. So I'm sharing her address here for, anyone that's tickering across the bottom. I wanted to thank all of you for joining me in this remembrance. And I don't think that James is the sort of man who would have wanted us all sitting around doing anything but celebrating him. Our forefathers were some really, really powerful men. They stood up to the most evil bankers on this earth. And James was ready to stand up and fight against that and stand up for what was true and what was right and the truth of the knowledge. And we shouldn't miss another beat. We shouldn't be missing any beat. Whatever it is that he's doing it for us. He's doing it for all of us to keep moving. I think if anything, this was a calling for us to step up. Anna's been saying, the Federation is aging out. They're doing everything that they could to, keep the door open. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It was, they were so studied in our American history and what needed to be done in order to recover. This is a recovery mission, right?
Right.
They knew what needed to be done, and they knew that it wasn't something that they could do alone. All 50 states had to get involved. All 50 states had to prove that they had at least two people with the appropriate lineage all the way back pre-Civil War, and putting at the clarion call and doing everything that she had to do with staking that claim with the Vatican and with the Lord Mayor of London and all the different, appropriate people. They knew that they had to do that because of the studying that they had done. And they did it. And like you said, put the foot in the door. They wedged that door open so that the rest of us could walk through the door. And so we have a huge challenge to keep getting the word out, and Niti, you do an incredible job with your podcast every week with Anna and helping to raise awareness with other people so that they know that this is it's by faith and it's by choice. We choose this opportunity for the restoration, and it's not easy. We see assemblies struggling with personality conflicts and lack of knowledge, but it's not for lack of the knowledge being made available to us because of James and Anna. They're making this available to us. They've done the heavy lifting. They've brought forth the receipts. And so, yeah, there isn't much time for mourning, but like you said, celebrating what's next, embracing that this is what it is. Some things are absolutely out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey,
mysterious supernatural God that we have, embracing that and taking the task at hand and moving forward.
You just reminded me, and listen, guys, we have been carried by Anna and James this far. We've been standing on their shoulders all this time. It's time for us to get up and move. And right now, especially, we must carry Anna. There's going to be some time while we have to do the heavy lifting and doing the carrying. And look, I've been calling all men. That's what I do on my thing. And look, here's Greg, here's Tony, but calling all men doesn't mean we're not calling the women. Hello. For anyone who doesn't comprehend the proper grammatical language. We keep going back to this language, Look, all of us know there is no death, right?
No, but Niti, there's a reason why the powers, the de facto powers that be have been trying to emasculate men.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason for this. And that's because they know men are strong and capable and smart. I was thinking about the accomplishments of men as I was watching a construction job. I was at a red light recently. Big old giant building going up, and I'm watching and just observing at the brute force that's necessary to be able to erect this huge building. And all the people working with the hard hats and the crane operator and the guy in the tractor and the guy mixing the concrete and all the stuff. And I was like, you know what? Men are amazing. Let's just get real. Men, you guys deserve a lot more love and attention than you get. And I, for one, I'm sick and tired of people tearing you down and making you feel like you have to be feminized.
No, men are the enforcement. What is this all about? This is about the truth, knowledge of the truth, and then we have to enforce the truth. We can know the truth, but then we have to enforce the truth. We can know it, but we have to have the enforcement. And so I still call all men, and look, there is no death. Okay. But this was Anna's heart. And so there's time. It's going to take time for her to redirect all the love that she has into, back towards her James where he's at. And we are going to carry this on regardless. She's given us enough information, and she's not going anywhere, but she can take a few days or a week or whatever she needs, and everything shouldn't fall apart as a side effect of that. And just the fact that all of you were so able and willing to jump on this call when I put out the bat signal. I love you and appreciate you so much. We have everyone here from all ends of the earth, including, we know that there's some folks that are joining us in the background that are unable to connect because everybody's traveling and working and pushing that needle forward. I know we have all of Terra Australis and everyone else here with us too, okay? All your hearts are here. And we have so much mental power. You're talking about the brute strength, Michelle, but what we've been learning is mentalism is the way to go. It's about our mind. It's about strengthening our mind, focusing our mind, and focusing our energy. And so, hello, we've already said that we command all evil to leave. That's number one. Number two, we have to, armor our federation. And let's just be honest. James and Anna weren't trying to reconstruct this government so that the government could control the minds of all the people. That is not what they want. Anybody who isn't getting that right now is not getting the message properly. Let's just make it plain and clear. As it is bound, it must be unbound. We only need to rebuild something enough so that we can just tear it down. That is what James wanted. Greg, is that what not you heard? What about you, Tony? What's the message everybody's getting? Gwen? I mean, all of you guys are on all different ends of the earth here. Dorothea, please let me know.
I think that we are so close to the finish line and that Jim's watching us. And I think it's very important to gather ourselves together for his namesake and in honor of everything they've done. And to Anna, I would wish a blessing that Jim's strength become her strength and his joy becomes her joy and his wisdom imparts to her even more wisdom so that it makes it beautiful and complete, and that he's going to watch us do this. He's helping us from the other side now. And although there's sorrow in life, there's joy in the morning when the dawning happens and we all arise and see who we truly are, because we have the victory. And I just, I want to thank Anna too for her dedication. And yes, Anna, take some time. We love you and we support you. Whatever you need, just ask. And I yield. Want to say anything, Dolores?
Go ahead, Dolores. You have the mic.
There you go. Your turn.
I just haven't got words to send compassion to Anna. She's such a tremendous example for all of us. She once said about Jim that he gets up in the morning and said, "What can I do to make you happy today?" So I wish we all took that from James, and to our assembly members and our friends and our family and our children, ask what Jim used to ask her: how can I make you happier today? I think this is a great gift for all of us. We love you, Anna. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
May I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, just my heartfelt condolences to you, Anna. I know it's gonna take some time for you to get everything together and comprehend it in your own heart, but you're not alone. His energy and his love, which is frequency and everything that's about him, will always comfort you and surround you, because he will always be part of you in that way. You will see him flourish in everything around you, in the work that you have done together, but also in your children, in your grandchildren. You will see the imprint of him flourishing through them. So it's not that he's gone just physically, maybe, but he will always be and always forevermore be in the work and the journey that we are even walking to make a new earth for all of us here. So I just want to thank you also from our heart for everything that you are. Know that our love and our prayers and our frequency of energy, upliftment coming toward your way, and you will feel it. You will feel the whole globe of the global family, how it will encircle you to uplift you, encourage you, strengthen you, and be there to support you. Take time in this time and just see everything move in the way of. What I mean by that is when you look at nature, you will always see Jim in there as well, because he had the connection with the animals, with creation. So that may flow in and through you to strengthen you and uplift and encourage you. Know that he will look after you through different eyes now. He's not in a flesh where you have to have him in person, but he's now in everything that is around you now. So love and light to you, and all our love from Africa to you. Hey, take care. I healed.
Well, Niti, I'll jump in if it's okay. Yeah, I'm sad that I didn't get to know James, but I have gotten to know Anna this past year. And she may not like me for saying this, but she reminds me a lot of my grandmother. I think she'd be okay with that. And that is a really strong woman with a lot of love, but also, very, very strong and very, very set. And I can only imagine what James was like, because my grandmother, as strong as my grandmother was, my grandfather was even stronger. And if you got past my grandmother with something, you didn't get past grandfather with something. And I can only imagine James being that way. And so, this is the past, present, and future in this moment right now. I don't know if time's a construct or whatever, but I think it's all happening in this moment. So he's hearing this. I'm sure he is. But for you, Anna, I just have my condolences to you, and it's time for the torch to be passed. It's that simple. I stand on my grandparents' land now here on Kansas, and I think about that all the time when I'm on that land. I've got that torch now. This is no different. We all have that same torch passed to us. Anna's not going anywhere. But she needs help, and I can only imagine the help they're going to need. In all ways, love, but also the support from all of us to keep the Federation going. So I think this is just an awakening. It's interesting. I found out about this about 3 or 4 hours ago, and not 5 minutes before that, I was speaking to somebody about my grandfather, and it just it's that synchronicity when it hits. So I will get to know James in the next realm, I'm sure. I'm sad that I didn't get to know him in this realm, but I'm really, really appreciative of getting to know you, Anna. And I thoroughly enjoy when we get together and visit. We may frustrate others because I think we visit a lot in coffee shop style, but it's just a fun communication. I resonate well with Anna, and and the path that they have charted for us all is just amazing. We're James was a true American, right? Not an American, just as all of us around the world. So, it just empowers me to want to step up more and do what I can on this journey. So thank you, Niti, for calling the emergency broadcast, the bat signal. I was traveling as well, and I couldn't get connected mobily, but I got home and I got on as soon as I could. Thank you.
Thank you, Gregory. I think that, you know, Anna says we're not going to wait till October, friends. Her project is so close. Can we make a deal? Can we make a deal? Can everybody everywhere, can we figure out a way to send the Federation something, you know, whatever it is that you can do every single week for the next 8 weeks. Make it as big as you can. And the reason I'm saying that is because I really believe that, and you tell me if you agree, okay? I want to know what everybody here thinks. But money represents our sweat equity, okay? This is our energy. And if you really want to release the energy, you better make it move. If you hold it, and if you don't push it through, and you don't make it flow, it is not going to work. And the way that Anna and James's work is going to come to fruition is by us being able to have access to our full inheritance.
Yep,
we don't worship the money, but the tools will give us a little bit stronger of a voice, which these other devils don't seem to want to comprehend. I bet they'll comprehend it real quick when all the men have access to all their sweat equity again. Tony, Peter, Graham, Stephen, Gregory, Gwen, Michelle, what do you guys think about this, Dorothea?
Money's a tool, Niti, and if you just look what's going on, their fiat is fading away. It's not a switch. It'll never be a switch. It's fading away. Look at how it's diminishing today. Look at what silver and gold are doing today.
Did you see gold just run through the roof here?
Fiat is going away, and you're right. The key to money is flow.
Let's get that flow going. It's energy. It is our blood money. Yep. I feel that if we push it, get it going, get that merry-go-round. I mean, they've been trying to get it going, but we need to really make it go as hard and fast as we can.
Yep. Well said.
Yeah, and Anna did let me know that with her purse being stolen, and her, she said that she can't cash checks right now. So the best option is the Revolut option. Of course, there's also Cash App, but apparently Cash App has been unreliable lately, not always functioning properly, and some might get an error message the way that I did today. But she's, they were not big fans of life insurance. I can't imagine that she didn't have any of that on deck. You know what I'm saying? So, as much, like you're saying, Niti, as much as more to give in your generous selves, I think it will unstick this financial energy stuckness and help to expedite and release the Jubilee. Bring it on. Bring on the redemption. We're ready for the Redeemer. Let's go.
That's right. Peter, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to you, Niti, first of all, and thank you to all of you. It's great to be here with you, but I wish it was under better circumstances. It's a terrible moment. It's a grievous moment. And we are all grieving. Of course we are. Anna's grieving more than most of us, obviously, but we grieve with her. We share her pain because we all become part of the journey that we're on together. And I think it's important that we play our role. We all become a little bit Anna. We all become a little bit Jim, depending on which side of the fence you're on, i.e. a man or a woman. We've got to step into this, and we've got to grow ourselves and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, and be able to look in the mirror in the morning and in the evening and know that we did the best that we could, as they've been doing for such a very long time. And we can only emulate them. We can only emulate them and try and be the best that we can. That's all we're trying to do, and that's what I will try and do, and I'm sure that's what all of us will try and do. And to say that we're sorry and we commiserate is really not suitable. It's not enough, although we do say it. I agree with Tony, raising our vibrations collectively is something that's very important, and I hope that we can continue to do it, and we should make the effort to do it. I will certainly be doing that myself. Quite a poignant day for me today. I lost my mother in 2013, but she would have been 100 years old today. It's really... Sorry, I missed them. Yeah, she would have been an old gal today. So 1925 she was born. So I'm grieving as well a little bit for myself, but I'm grieving more for the global family, because I think we've lost something very important. And never having spoken to James or anything like that, you can see the effect that he had on everybody and the way in which people have talked about how Anna felt about him. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. And we should celebrate that by being the very best we can. And on that, I yield.
Thank you so much. Graham, would you like to say something?
He normally has a lot to say, but is something wrong with his microphone?
I know that everybody's trying to connect. Poor Stephen keeps popping in and out. Stephen, do you have something you'd like to say?
Yeah, thanks, guys. What can we say, really? You know, it is a marriage made in heaven that they both met. What they brought to us, what they've given us, and what they still will give to us. And I'm sure Anna will actually be stronger now, having Jim's spirit with her. Just be so thankful for what they've done for us. We all have to be there for them. And we all have to come together now, stronger than we ever did before. That's really it.
It's perfect. Yeah, I think Graham can't unmic, or I can't even unmic him. Anyway, well,
I would love to add one thing, but before we wrap up, I'm not sure what time you wanted to wrap up, Niti, but I wanted to add a thought that I had. And that is, in terms of like things to commemorate Jim, we don't have that much to share, you know, aside from his articles and looking up his artwork and Anna's testimony about him and his contribution and his family, you know. And it made me realize we need a team of capable filmmakers to take on the task of putting to, while Anna is still alive with us, Lord willing, for the next 30 to 40 years at least. We need a call to action regarding the historical significance of creating feature-length film to document the history and get interviews with Anna specifically for an educational type film to document the history of their family and all of it. So I'm just calling on all of you, those of you who may have film editing, you know, filming, documenting, capturing images, historical documents. Anna has one of the most robust, significant historical archives on this earth. And, you know, part of the fundraising that happens every month is to pay for the storage of all of this stuff so that it's kept free from rodents and insects and deterioration. All of that preservation is for us and for future generations, you know, 100, 200, 300, 500 years from now. That's how long term we need to be thinking. What legacy could we help to preserve for future generations to know about this. Because when we look back on history and what was left for us by the founders, there's so much that many of us have never seen. And Anna has. Anna has. Anna has traveled. Anna has captured. Anna has been to the archives of other historians and was bequeathed important documents and images and art and, you know, all kinds of different things, artifacts. And we need to be able to preserve that for the future. I remember at one point expressing that the average Joe, I'm an average Joe, okay, the average Joe, we mostly plan like, hey, what are you doing for Labor Day? You know what I mean? And now it's like on to the next holiday. We like mark life by the next holiday, if you will. And I don't mean like in a religious or sense. I just mean like it's just kind of how we were raised in our US culture. That's how it's done in US. I don't know how it's done anywhere else, but if you went to public school in US, your teachers planned all of the lessons around the next holiday, the next holiday, the next holiday. So that's how we got indoctrinated into a system about traditions and holidays and lost focus on the things that actually really matter. But our founders left us important stuff. The handlers of the world, they plan 1,000 years at a time. They don't plan like a weekend at a time or a month at a time or a holiday at a time. They plan the forever game. Our forever game is that people are free from the shackles of enslavement from here to eternity, forever and ever and ever, and will never succumb to false teachers, false paradigms, imposed dictators and tyrants and groups that will squash freedom. And so I believe that the biggest message from today, one of the biggest messages, in addition to celebrating the incredible contribution in life of James Clinton Belcher, is the task at hand. In addition to the actual task, there's this task of preservation. So if you're feeling your heartstrings called and you would like to participate and do something like this, I invite connection. Let's connect over it and plan it and get it done and keep it going. A plan of action for the next year. Got to make sure none of this gets to be in the category of forgotten history ever again. So that's my call to action. Thanks, Niti. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I love you.
Not at all. I mean, look, I appreciate you so much, Michelle, and all the work that you do, and all the educational tools that you have provided. I mean, for anybody out there who is not using Michelle's channels on Rumble of her Law 101 and her Yay, I'm on the Land Now, this is something important for people to use all around the whole earth. Because as everybody's coming on board, the first thing when they don't know what they're doing, I'm like, you need to watch every single video on these two channels, because you're going to hear something different every single video. You're going to learn something different every single video. And Michelle did that. She sacrificed a lot of time and made time for this. And then she had to go back to work like a lot of she's like she didn't want to do it because but that work is still viable, wonderful, powerful, important. Everybody needs to be leveraging it. And this, for as many weeks as Anna needs, this is our 98th episode that we're doing here together because James called us to action. Okay? So I encourage everyone to go back and start with number 1 and watch every episode if that's what you need to do until you can catch up with everything that's going on. But besides that, it's just a reminder for everyone, you know, about where we're coming from. That we all need to be able to go back, refresh, keep learning and unlearning. And the rest of us who are ready, who already have our vibrations high enough, because this is a vibrational call, Tony. I know, Tony, if we let you go, he's going to start talking about it. You going to bring it, Tony? Come on.
Well, I actually, I wanted to just reply to Michelle. Did anybody watch the movie I Care a Lot with Rosamund Pike? You have to watch this movie. So look it up. I Care a Lot, Rosamund Pike. I spoke to Anna about this. So this is exposing the director is called Jay Blakeson, who I've been introduced to recently, and he's actually wanted to know about my plans for a documentary called The Olive Branch in memory of my mother Olive and the horrific story that she had, which it allowed me to really awaken to the darkness and the corruption in my country in Ireland, which centered around the system called the wards of state or the wards of court, which takes control of old people and pretends that they're there for their protection and it's just after their land and property. So I fought all the way to the Supreme Court to get an injunction against this system, and it was through that I came up with the idea of doing a documentary series. Now, as a result of that, obviously the whole courts and the corrupt courts were not happy at all, and they did everything in their power for me to stop this. So I connected with Jay Blakeson. So if you look at that, it's a brilliant movie about the similar wards of court system that you have in America. But I told Jake Jay that I was looking to do something similar for what was going on in Ireland, UK, and Europe. So we then got talking about this whole mission that we're on and following Anna, etc. So he's actually very interested in this. So literally only had that communication with him last week. So there's no coincidence, Michelle, you're talking about that. So I hadn't got around because I was preoccupied. I'm back over in England sorting stuff out and going back to Dublin. So I if you could connect or reach out or give me your profile, Michelle, or your contact details through Niti, we could look at maybe introducing Jay Blakeson into this to help about the movie.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
We'll get you guys connected, definitely.
I'll put it in the chat for you.
Super, thanks.
May I ask something?
Sure.
Okay, so if you're talking about getting this like edited with the crew and stuff, if you want help or assistance with that, I have some of our African people that is really well equipped in the sense of connecting it with TV channels and radio stations that broadcasts worldwide. So just if you would love that, maybe we can bring some of our African people into helping if you would be interested in that.
That's awesome. So you're speaking about like the distribution of the finished product, if you will, the finished film.
Not just that, maybe like having little pop Snapchats like on a weekly base or monthly base, having like a little snippets or stuff that we can broadcast about the assemblies or about Anna or about the global family. Maybe do something like that and bring a bit of notice to us so that more people or souls out there can know what's happening in this way as well. I just had a thought like that because that is even what the Africans are planning at this point is to put it out there. We have somebody that has actually given us a spot that we will have that on a weekly basis for the Africa States Assembly and the people involved in this to bring light onto the global family and the walk of sovereignty. So it's just a thought that we can bring this in as a global family and share it with all the different assemblies, having interviews maybe with all of you everywhere and connect it in like that, and with Anna, and just connect it in the fullness of it. It's just a thought. So maybe that can help. I heal.
Definitely. Thank you. I think that would be very helpful.
Well,
Does
like I
anybody
said,
have
this is
anything else?
just
Sorry.
this is just the Africans wanting to do something. And according to the assembly pillars, I do believe the media part is part of the General Assembly. So it needs to be connected to get it out there. So that's the team that crossed our journey, was this huge group of Africans that, oh my word, they're so awesome. They're having this connection and places where they work and move, where they could connect the African States Assembly in this manner. But we can share it with all of you across the globe if you would love to. And I think it can be awesome. I heal.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think that's fantastic. We'll have to connect. I put my contact details in the studio chat, so feel free to grab it and connect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I wanted to share with everybody. Oh, and I've lost some of my stuff here. Well, you know that the energy is crazy right now, as evidenced by the fact that all of us keep getting thrown in and out, for one thing. James had a poem that he really liked. And one of our members on our assembly had put together the poem in a song. And I thought that it would be a nice way to close out if we are ready to close, if there isn't anything anyone else wants to add.
I think that'd be a great way to close out.
And let's see here.
Is there the man with gold? Is there the man with gold so dead? Never to himself has said, this is my own, my native land, whose heart hath ne'er within him burned. As home his footsteps he hath turned, from wandering on a foreign strand. If such their breed, go mark him well, for him no minstrel rapture swell. High though his titles crowd his name, boundless his wealth, as when he can claim. Despite those titles, power, rich transcendent, all himself, living shall forfeit there now, and doubly dying shall go down to the vile dust, from whence he sprung, unwept, unharmed, and unseen.